Good evening and welcome back to the Black Lodge. It's David at Drinkswhisky, and as you can hear, I'm a little bit hoarse, a little bit action-packed end of the week that resulted in me now sounding like this. So do bear with me. You'll be pleased to know I've not had any drams for the last couple of days, so I'm hoping that might help self-medicate a little bit. So welcome to the Black Lodge. It's live Saturday Night Drams. I don't know if I'm going to keep that name, to be honest. I just started doing it, and then it just kind of fits. I think one of the problems is if you're a YouTuber, it's the same thumbnail I keep using, so maybe I need to try and mix it up. But then that means after I do the live stream, I need to create some sort of thumbnail. I'm normally straight to bed. So first world problems, but I'm already struggling with the talking. So this might not be the usual 2.5 hours or so of dram chat and fun, but hopefully we make it through. I would love to know what you guys are doing, how your week's been, what's in your glass. I've not even poured a dram yet. I do have, as is tradition, I have my beer, my little Hoff and Hoff, and I've went for the Saint Omer French beer, the tiny little stubbies, you know. I do love the wee stubby beers. 4.5%, perfect beers. You get them. I'm so jealous. There's not much I'm jealous. So jealous in the States. The little Miller High Life ponies you get. They're brilliant. But it's what it is. Let's see. Evening Codger. I'm sounding rough. I'm sounding rough and ready. Might be just a wee whiskey ASMR stream for yous out there, for the whiskey perverts that normally pop in. I hope everything's going well where you are. I don't know how busy it's going to be the night. There's been a lot of whiskey activity on the go. There's a lot of whiskey activity coming up. So we'll play it by ear. We'll kind of do it. I've got the usual. I've not got a huge topic tonight. I've got a whiskey topic that I'm going to get into. I think a bit of good chat around that. A little bit of news to update. Chat to people about that news. See what they've been hearing. Evening, Hamish. Great to have you in. Can't wait to hear. I need to hear about your tasting last week and how it went. Was it appreciated? I meant to look out for the score as well to see if it was a good game. So you'll need to let us know in the chat about that. Evening, Derek. Great to have you in. Hope you are all sounding better than me. This is purely a cosmetic voice thing. It's self-inflicted. I had a leaving drinks on Thursday night. One drink turned into 2, turned into 4, turned into a great idea to go to karaoke for a couple of hours. And I'm nothing if not dedicated to the cause, as you can hear. And I'd text my wife because she was very forgiving. It was meant to be a couple of beers. And I was like, well, this just keeps escalating. And I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk tomorrow because I am killing it at karaoke. Killing it. Or maybe just killing karaoke. But that's it. That's the consequence. So I don't think I've had a sustained period of chat over a couple of hours. So I'm really going to be pushing it to the limit. But we've got some good self-medicating going on. Oh, excuse me. So in terms of themes tonight, as I said, I've got a couple that I was going to touch on. One of which is going to be the excuse me. Getting notifications popping up on my phone, which is no good for anybody. Let's do that. We're going to go through... Well, I've not poured my dram in the glass yet, but the dram I'm pouring is going to be the one that sets the tone for the evening in a good way. It's more a topic rather than setting it exactly as it is. Let's get these up. Hamish, tasting at Ross County was great. 28 attendees and said they'll book me for another one next season. 28? Wow. So was it like more? I know it was corporate, but was that the club that booked you in for that? Because if so, that's fantastic. That's great. And how did the drams go down? Because there was some belters. It was all above. It was everything from above Inverness, wasn't it? On that, my daughter came in here today. Normally this is kind of closed up. She doesn't come in because she's like 21 months. She just toddles about, but she tries to get in when she's in the garden and she's like, keys. So she came in today and she wandered to just the side of the bar I need to clear out some empties, and she went, oh, she calls it all juice. I'm like, I just call it juice. And she got really excited about an empty Thompson Brothers bottle, and it was a Dalyun with the badgers on it. I can't exactly display an empty whiskey bottle in her room, but I might need to pick her up something with badgers on it. And then I'll forever be able to tell her she's got a connection with Dalyun. God, just sounds like a great evening to me. It sounds like a great evening to you. You didn't have to listen to it, so I don't know how great it was for everybody listening. But I did bring the house down with a duet to Alanis Morissette, You Ought to Know, as well as my karaoke staple, Toxic by Britney Spears. But you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. Evening, Billy. Great to have you in. Hope you're keeping well. Over in Norway, God, the late nights must be flying in for you now. I'm noticing it here. I think I was down here at... What time did I come down here? Came down here to kind of pick up some bits before going to the shop, and I think it was about 10, maybe 8 o'clock. 10 past 8. And it was still bright here. Obviously, our clocks changed last week, but... it must be great where you are, especially after it was a long winter here. I don't know how it was in Norway, but tough going, really tough going. Right, I'm going to get wee dram in the glass after I pull up Hamish's. Show of hands at the end of the taste was totally split regarding the favourite. 8 Doors Blend 3 votes, Dalmore 5, Indy Taninic 4 votes, Glenaldy Indy 8, Brassy 8. Wow. Was that again, prime for information here, but was it a mix of whiskey drinkers and non-whiskey drinkers? And is that why maybe the Glenord and the Rassy scored so high, and that they're not as challenging, or it's complex? No, you know what I mean. I feel like Glenord is such a lovely, fruity spirit at the best of times, and then the Rassy, maybe being a wee bit younger. And for anybody joining on catch up, I'm just going to give the wee catch up gang a shout out. I get a lot of people that watch this who don't join live. Like you guys that join me, fantastic. I love having you in here, because otherwise it would just be me talking to myself and it would be horrendous. But the guys on catch up, like who listen in and that, they really enjoy it. The more that join us live, and if you can encourage people to join live, to join the chat and stuff, the more entertaining it is for them. Because that's why a lot of the time now I start putting the comments up and I kind of read out the comments. And I know that you guys watching live are in the comments anyway and in the chat, but it just lets them follow along without having to read a separate thing for chat or whatever. But I get quite a lot of views on it, and it's quite surprising. The one thing, I've got the Drams podcast, that's picking up a lot of views at the moment. The one with Marcos, the only one I've had time to do. The Marcos North Star Drams podcast, and I'm really keen to get that going, but I really want to do the Drams podcast in person, because I like the intimacy and the personality of it all, because you really connect and you just have a normal conversation. Whereas I feel like sometimes when you do online podcasts, there's a little bit of a disconnect, and it can be quite tricky to do. But what I do want is I want to get more guests on this on a Saturday night, and it's tricky because it's a Saturday night. I've kind of, I've dug a grave for myself with regards to it being Saturday night, and I do intend on trying to invite guests in and stuff and get the text sorted, so it's just quite an easy dial-in, bit like the whiskey round tables if you saw them, but a wee bit more free flowing. And then also I'm considering, and again, give me your feedback on this, guys, and the chat and catch up, considering doing almost like a wee Dram Face podcast, and that does it like a Dram phone, but maybe like a wee call-in section where you don't need to be on camera, but you might be able to have a wee chat and say what you're drinking, or if you've got a really hot topic of discussion you want to have of that. I just think the interactive element of this is, it's one and a half way street, because you guys are in the chat and I respond to that. but it'd be great to get a wee bit more and really get everybody involved. Just trying new ideas, new things, rather than just keep doing the same old, same old. It's going well, but I just want to do what we can. Like Amy, she's here. Total mix of drinkers, at least 4 foot, never heard of an indie bottling. We want a few hours like added colour, chill for and converted a few about adding water versus ice. Brilliant, mate. Like, but as long as if people walked away regardless and who didn't maybe consider whiskey and now drink it, you've won it. You've done your job. You've done more than enough. I think next week the whiskey show down here, the Whiskey Exchange and Specialty Drinks, they're doing the Welcome to Whiskey show. It's all like bottles under £100, and it's meant to be about getting newbies along. And I don't know how successful sales and stuff are going or what it'll be like, but I would hope I've not even seen the lineup. I don't know who's going or anything like that, but I would hope that would help encourage, because I think I always wax on lyrically about it. Got to get the newbies in, but the fact that stuff we take for granted about like indie bottlings, and then they're like, oh, I've never heard of that before. Kind of, you forget, don't you? We can get so pigeonholed in our passion that we forget that people don't know what we know. And especially adding water versus ice. I kick off with, normally my answer is, oh, I put ice in my whiskey, is that okay? And I'm like, it's fine. Like, you're drinking it, but do what you need to do. Oh no, what's this? Anyway, I have no dram in hand tonight as I'm rough as fast. 5 dram flight last night. Then going on to Glasgow soon. Oh my god. The 76 dram tasting, how was that? Because their stuff's been, I'm really enjoying their stuff, as you could see through Mark's Dram Madness, and we'll talk about that later. But I think the output, the quality level has just went fantastic. Don't worry, Codger, I no forgot about you. What do I think of the Thompson Brothers next release? I was going to talk about that. I took I've prepped for that. Of what you can get in this mystery malt series. Now, I'd spoke to Simon last year, and he said, David, there's something coming. I think it'll be a bit of fun, and it'll get us through maybe, the way he put it was, get us through maybe tougher times. Downtown's coming, but something that's going to excite and enthusiast. But that was it. He never said a word, and I assume he said, I think it was meant to come. I don't think I'm getting any away here. It was meant to come in November. November came and went. And I was like, oh, I wonder what he was talking about here. And I think this is it. Because I saw it in Dramface and I read the article. And I've got a list here. You need to forgive me for looking down, but I've got a list here, if people don't know. So the concept of it is, it seems that they've got the ABV all the same. So they're releasing a bottle called the Mystery Malt Series #1. So it's a series, but it's a bottle. And you don't know what you've got until you buy it. So it's a gamble, but it's not like a lucky dip. They tell you what's in there. They're all at the same strength, I think. Is it the same strength? I don't know. Maybe I've taken that screenshot wrong. But yeah, I can't really. Yeah, it is all the same strength, 48.5%. And there's quite a lot of bottles of it. So I'll start with the one that's got the most. So they've got an Altmore 15-year-old. It's got 282 bottles of that. So there's 282 of these mystery malt bottles will be that. Then, I can't be bothered jumping about the page. You get Speyside Distillery, a 29-year-old. You've got an Inchgower, 27-year-old. Ardmore, you've got 26 or a 25. Teninic, 17. The Altmore. Kalila, 14. Brute Laddie, a Brute Laddie Rins, 13. Orkney Cognac Cask, 13. Bunnahabhain, 11. Clynelish, 9. Ardnamurchan, 7. I always get that wrong. Glenwivis, 6. Adornock, 5. Nicknane, 5. And a Lochlear, 4. And it's all priced at the same price, and I believe it's £65. So it's not mystery that you get it and then you never find out and you need to scan a QR code and all this. It's like once you buy it and you open it, you know, but you have to open it to find out. And it's due in, I think, 3 weeks time. I'm going to drop an email and try and find out some more about it, because it's really interesting to me. I think it's a really good concept, but there'll be a lot of people that's not into it, and I get that, and it's fine. But the value, I think the value is there. If you don't like Altmore, then you're screwed, because you're probably going to get an Altmore. But you're not really, because if you look at it, there's Loch Lear, right? There's 175 bottles of that. People go, oh my god, I don't want to look. I always say this, and some people will argue against me, but the quality and of what they put out, I don't think the guys would put something out if it wasn't decent. There's very few bad bottlings that come out of there. There's been a couple that people I know have said, oh, I've not liked that, I've not liked this, and that's fine, that's going to happen. It's so subjective, but the majority of what they put out is fantastic. And I think, wow, like what a great opportunity to get rid of some stock for the aim. But I don't think they struggle with it, to be honest. The bottles sell because they now have the reputation, and so I think it's really intriguing they're doing it. They've got a lot on their plate at the moment with the new distillery and the hotel and summer season coming up, and still running the Donlock distillery and the IB and stuff like that. So look, I think fair play. It's bold, and the price, okay, it's 65 quid. I would love it to be a wee bit cheaper, but is what it is. You know, like you can't be too hard on them. 65 quid, because some of those bottles, like a 29-year-old, 27-year-old, 26-year-old Ardmore, a 25-year-old would be the dream. Independent Ardmore, when it's good, it's brilliant. It's so good. Billy, a lot of talk about Thompson Brothers last year. They're not available in Norway, so I've not tasted any of them yet. Billy, as I said before, I've got a really good friend, a close friend of mine, lives in Norway. The next time he's over and I find out, if you follow me on Instagram or that, give me a shout, and what I'll do, I'll send me your details. You can email me at david@drinkswhisky.com, and I will I can find a way of getting you a bottle of something over. That wouldn't be a problem. Which reminds me, I have someone who watches, he emailed me about something. I have not forgotten. I've literally I'm waiting on stuff. That's all I can say. But I've not forgotten. I will send you an email about it as well, but don't worry, I've not forgotten. Don't want you thinking that. But I'm going to take that off my phone now, so I'm not constantly looking at my phone. But yeah, Thompson Brothers Mystery Malt, that was the second topic I was going to talk about. So, Codger, you got in there fast. First topic I was going to talk about, well, the first bit of news, this is the news section, and was the rogue. I thought it was an April Fool thing, or I thought it was a PR stunt. But the fact that European whiskey makers can't call the whiskey rye whiskey anymore, and it's true, you can't have rye whiskey from Europe. And I don't know if it applies to the UK, if we're folded in under it. We probably are, to be fair. And it comes down to legislation from 2004 that was done with Canada. And the irony is the Canada statute that makes rye whiskey isn't like how strict ours is at all. And by ours, I mean European side. So quite a few brands like Cairo in Finland and all that are tearing their hair out because they're like, what we make ours with like 100% rye grain. How is it no rye whiskey? And it was basically because when the legislation was done in 2004, there wasn't really any rye whiskey coming out of Europe at all. And this industry is growing, and people have found their niche and found their differentiator and went, oh, we'll do rye. And now it's came back because it kicked in. And so I think in the current state of affairs with the way the world is, I think this will be managed sensibly between the EU and the Canadian government, I'm sure. I don't think it's going to hinder Canada, and I don't think it would be bad. Excuse me. But you never know. You never know the way the world's going. But I think it's just it's a funny story. It's a funny story. I need to do I never had time to do as much research. I want to know if they knew this was coming, or if literally it was like an email came through on like the day after the legislation goes through, and they're like, Sorry, you need to stop calling your whiskey rye whiskey. Roger, really looking forward to it. Appeals to my gambling simple as you say, they're not releasing rubbish. Exactly, and it's a bit of fun, isn't it? Great gifting bottle. It's like buying an actual like winning lottery ticket for someone. You know when you give someone a lottery ticket and their birthday card or stuff like that, or a scratch card. You're giving them this and you've been like, there you go. Don't know what it is. You buy one for yourself, buy one for them, and then they open theirs and they get the 25, 26-year-old and you get stuck with the younger ones. But no, Simon, if you go on the Dramface article, if you've not already, Simon responds to a couple of comments in there. There's a couple of people, not being disparaging, but being like, oh God, why have they picked like the Nine? And he's went, well, I went to the warehouse, I went through it, I picked it, it was later release spirit, blah, blah, blah. So they have been quite diligent in what they're doing. Why would you, it's not the time to ruin the brand. If anything, it might be a bit of the old Billy Walker where you punt some of the great stuff into your general stuff to elevate it further and build the reputation further. Next up, I never wrote them down, but I'm doing this as a general service, so you can do it yourself, unfortunately. The release dates for tickets. So Glasgow Festival tickets for November, they go on sale in a few weeks' time, I believe, beginning of May, I think it is. I'm going to triple check this. I'll just do it myself. It's more for my own knowledge as well, because you can imagine if I never got a ticket for that, I'd be devastated. Glasgow Whisky Festival tickets go on sale on the 3rd of May. So for those on catch up as well, the 3rd of May, 11 AM. Now, if you want session 1, they go the fastest. Don't hang about. If you need one, just grab one. Now, if you're part of the Barflies and Aquavites group and stuff, I know that he has his own system and he can help people get tickets. That's fantastic. But if you can, pick up 2, and I'm sure you'll be able to. That other ticket won't hang about, especially not for session 1. And it's always nice to help somebody who might have just missed out or something will happen. So we have that happening, and then we also have the Whiskey Fringe tickets are going on sale. I got the email about that. Let me see, is it coming up here? They are going on sale on the 16th of April. The Whiskey Fringe ones are going on sale. So 16th of April at midday. They also go really quick. Opening session, the dates are from the 8th to the 10th of August. If you saw my whiskey video, if you've not seen it, please go and watch it, about the best whiskey show for you. And it was 3 shows. It was Glasgow, it was the whiskey show in London, and it was the Whiskey Fringe that I did. And very different shows. Whiskey Fringe is great if you're in Edinburgh, or if you're visiting nearby, or you happen to be in the vicinity. It's just, I went to Friday and it was good. I'm really, really tired by the end of the day. Let's put it that way. It's a long old day, and then when you've got to get the train back to Glasgow and make it back in one piece, that's an adventure in itself. But definitely both 2 amazing festivals if you get the chance. Evening, Peterhead. Great to have you in. Hope you're keeping well. And there's Hamish backing us up. May the 3rd for the Glasgow Whisky Festival tickets going on sale. Evening, PX. Great to have you in. Who else we got in? See Mike. Welcome, Mike. Thanks for joining. Great to have yous. Not from me. Too high a chance of Pete. Also have bought tickets to Newcastle Indy. That was the one I need to look into. That's in... God, I should... This is... Every time I do these streams, this is what's good. I learn more and more about what I need. And I need like a wee... I need to bring my iPad down or something so I can just on the fly do it. Can't it all be like the main podcasters, bloody your Joe Rogans, that you're like, Jamie, do it. Okay, aye, give me the information. Let me see. And that is... It's a cheap ticket as well. 12th and 13th of September. Am I here? I'm here. There's something else at that time as well, though. Something else rattling around my brain. But fantastic. Definitely look into it, guys, if you haven't seen it. Indie Whisky Festival, the Assembly Rooms, Newcastle, if you're up north or you want a wee adventure. So, as is customary, let us know what's in your glass, everybody. I am starting off. So this evening's theme of sorts, because I was kind of going, what am I going to make the theme? I do it very much on the fly. I have to just come up with something and then hope that you guys are as entertaining in the chat so that we can keep things moving. But I decided, and I'll see if you can guess, and be kind. I'm going to start with this. I'm going to pour this never-ending bottle of Black Label that I've had. Kick the night off there. Nice 40%. And if you'd watched for me or no for me, this one was a shock for me that I ended up saying, aye, that's quite for me. Because I find that what ended up swinging it for me is its availability, and it's at a level that's alright. It's not bad at all. Like, it's not going to change your life, but you know what? It might start somebody on the path to really get into whiskey. You know, like, for me, for a starter dram the night with this voice going on, it delivers. It's watery for me, of course it is. It is. I don't get much peat on the nose, but it's a dram that definitely has its place. And I think a few of you did comment on the video saying that as well. It's fine. And I think you go to any bar, you go into any club, more like social club as opposed to club. You go into any like wedding venue, christening, funeral, like, doesn't matter. They're probably going to have Black Label, and that's a win. I had a mate go to a christening, or was it a wedding, Wales somewhere, and all they had was they had a Scotch malt that isn't the best supermarket fodder, and that was it. And he was like, oh, for God's sake. And he's a whiskey drinker, whereas Black Label just is solid. It's solid. So the theme this evening is we're doing blends. I'm going to go through some blends that I've got, and we've got a range. We've got Thompson Brothers blend, we've got Woven, got a couple of Woven there, got Compass Box, Douglas Lang, and North Star blend. And I just thought that would be quite a fun place to go. It's something a wee bit different, just to keep the chat going, because we always get great chat in here. Highland Hamish, talking to Thompson Brothers, dates announced for the Dornoch Whisky Festival, 24th to 26th of October. Tickets on sale. It's small but perfectly formed. Yes, and that's another one that's on my list. I've been so good this side of the year. I've not went anywhere, not done much compared to my normal whiskey extravaganzas. I would love to go to Dornoch for that. Love it. I'll need to check what's the accommodation like up there though, because you'd want to stay either at the castle or close to it, wouldn't you? Because everything's going to be in that vicinity. Hamish, you'll know better than anybody. Is it a Rogue? Is it Rogue? Is it going to be expensive because of it? Most of the accommodation booked up by now. Mike, he'll be at the London Whisky Show. I've not bought my ticket yet, and I think I've buggered up. I think I screwed up with that. I just need to do it. It's because it's so expensive. The prices have went mad on that show, and it's great. But then I went myself last year. I was doing content and bump into people and stuff, but it's more fun with friends. It's far more fun, and I think we spoke about that about maybe we organise, see who's all going from here and stuff, and we can organise something to go together and experience it that way, because it's more fun. Whiskey's more fun with friends. Evening, James. Good to have you in. 2 stacks Irish blackberry brandy finish. Yes, it's very sweet. Oh my god, man! It must be like, it sounds in my head. That's almost like a PX sherry drizzle. Like you could put that over your dessert. Be delicious. Peterhead's just got a wee bit of the Mortlach 19-year-old AD Rattray. I'm very impressed with AD Rattray. I'm just going to call that out right now. I like their stuff, and I don't buy enough of it by any means, but I don't see much of it either. And I don't know if are they exporting more than they are selling in the UK. Does anybody know that? Be good to know. Derek's on Glencadam 15, lovely drop, and then a Glenglossy Evolution next. Nice, mate, nice one. Billy agrees. Johnny Walker, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. And I think you see the general consensus in here. Cod's the same. Black Label's drinkable, not drained for. Petehead, aye, of course not. It's not on my shelf. Kyle's in. Kyle, welcome. I finally found a 2024 Cadiz on. I never know how to pronounce it. Is it Cerdis on the shelf today? Been searching low and high. The 10. It's a banger if you like dried peat. Brilliant. I've got a friend whose surname is Caird, and so he buys them for that reason alone. That's like his whiskey that he buys. Blend it is then. No other blends. And then accommodation not too bad. Done at end of October. I'll have a look. Or maybe even see if I be cheeky and drop Simon and that an email if they can recommend something. Because I've looked. It's been definitely on my list of things to do. My wife, when I took my wife up, me and the wee one and the wife went up last year. She's dying to go back. We went up to Winnie Alvimore, stayed at Alvimore for the night. She's never been up that way. And then we went across Speyside and stayed in Old Meldrum. And then came back down via Arbroath and stuff. But I would love to go to. I've never been to Donlock. I'm Glaswegian. It's terrible. We don't go. We just don't travel the country. And I think up that way, I've never been. Aviemoore's the furthest I've been, and then round to Speyside. I've never went up towards it. I've never been to Inverness. I've never been to Loch Ness. I've never been to Donlock or anywhere like that, and I've been dying to go. And I think we spoke about it and said if we're going back, because it's a long drive from London, and then you break it up and whatever. But we thought, well, if we're going to go back up there on holiday, stay up there for a bit, we'd just fly to Inverness and get a car and just scoot from there. And so I've looked at it and I thought if I do the Donlock thing, that's probably what I'd do. I'd just fly in Inverness, hire a car, drive up, and then that way I can pop in to Glenmorangie and stuff like that, and I can go up to Brora. I can just have a wee drive about and make a video. And it's funny because you look at some of the hire companies flinging electric cars at you, almost paying you to take them, and I'm like, don't know, I need to have a look, but I don't know what the network's like up there for electric car charging. But then I was like, well, if there was one in Donlock, even a charger, I'd be driving and parking it anyway, so it might be just really cheap, and I can use air miles to fly up to Inverness and back. So it's definitely on my list. I'm going to have a good look at that now. That's kind of tickled me, especially the timing. But then it's that time where it's like if I go up there and then a couple of weeks later I'm up to Glasgow for another one, and then becomes whiskey season, doesn't it? Everything kicks off. Scallywag the chocolate edition, great choice, brilliant. You bought this one at auction, always on the lookout for. Yeah, the stuff's really good. And I love that you've got to teach me how to speak my native language, mate. Honestly, it's embarrassing, isn't it? Car chase. That would make sense. Inverness and Off is a long drive from Netherlands as well, and I've been there, so distance is no excuse. I know distance is no excuse. It's more the family. Like, you go on a holiday, I can't be like, yeah, we're going. And I very nearly did it as well when we went up there. I was like, we could just go up and stay up there because there was a availability in Dundalk, and then I was like, I can't. What are they going to do? And the reason we stayed at Old Meldrum again was because I was like, well, we can drive. At least we can drive through Speyside, and I'll get us to the first stop, which was the Highlander, and then my wife did the rest. And again, you can see that video, which is I think it's pretty. I'm trying to remember the exact title of it. It's like Glenallachie, Glenfarclas, and like, I'm right to the point. This is a trip video to these places. And tell me off. I deserve it. I absolutely deserve it. Normally I'm quite good at it. Normally I can pronounce it, but a lot of them. The charging situation was. Hiya Pete, how you doing? The charging situation was surprisingly good in Skye New Year, so I think you'd be surprised. Yeah, I think the Scottish Government did do a lot of that. I could go, if you ever get me for a few drams, the whole referendum, independence, all that, I don't get involved. And the reason that I never got involved in it was because I'd lived in London and I lost my right to vote. And it was very much a choice for everybody in Scotland. And that's the way it is. And so again, I never washed my hands of it. But referendums are just the worst thing in the world. I hate them. Because I don't think any good ever comes of them. But the one thing that really surprised me that no one put a compelling case forward for on both sides, the oil was the focus. And I get why. But we're still not done it, and I think we're still, the opportunity's there, just as a nation. Doesn't matter about your politics. Renewable energy, like, why don't we just fling money at it? Why don't we become the leader? And I say we as Scotland become the leader in renewables in terms of education, skill set, and all that. Like, we have an amazing brewing, distillery, education at Heriot Watt, and everybody from across the world goes to that. Oil, people come all the way from across the world to study it and learn about how to do oil. And we're really good at teaching, we could do amazing with it. So I wouldn't be surprised if, there is decent charging points up there. I just think, come on guys, we could do, I've always got big ideas on this when I go live, don't I? I want to revolutionise everything, but I just think it just boggles my mind that we've not really grasped the nettle of it yet. Like the hydro, we do well with the offshore wind and stuff like that. We could do so much better, so much more. Our weather's mental. Like, we harness it all the time. Come north and we can reenact the Ross County North of Scotland. Oh, mate, honestly, you wouldn't even need to offer me that to come up. Just a pint and a pie, sold. Yeah, I got rid of the family, so no excuse either. Fair enough. Yeah, so I saw that. I guess Dundalk is. So I'll just read it out for anybody that's listening. Lovely beach at Dundalk for the wee one. Several high-end shops in Dundalk for the wife to spend cash in. I know the latter from bitter experience. Yeah, I looked up stuff and there's like really high-end spas and that, and it makes sense now. Hamish, you saying about the American golfers leaving that. There's a lot of tourism up there. I wonder how it's going to be impacted now with everything that's happened in the last week. The tariffs, I feel like we got off 10%. It's still 10%, but you factor it into the grand scheme of things. It's not the worst of what it could have been. But I wonder how it's going to translate with everything going on. And a friend of mine, one of my close friends, is American. And his cousin is looking to move to Scotland to do a master's and stuff. And we've connected just to talk through some stuff. And she's like, I don't know how welcome, how much they'll appreciate having an American come over. And they're feeling it on that side. So I'm wondering if that's going to be like a conscious thing in people's heads of, don't know if I should travel to Europe or to the UK because they might not like us and all that kind of stuff. It's weird, isn't it? You just don't think about it. Codger watched a programme on a wee lassie became an SNPMP. Can't remember her name. Very interesting. Was that the one? The Mary Black? Mary Black? It's mad when you think about it, about how the SNP, that huge rise, that huge majority they got, and the amount of candidates that were just like young or just flung in, or just cleaned the board up, swept up. I don't know if that would happen as much now. I don't know if maybe we need. This is across everything. I don't know if you just need an older, more. I don't know. You just want people to have a wee bit more experience to be able to deal with stuff, don't you? That Black Label goes down fine, especially with a beer. Wee bit of that does the thing. For anybody joining late, thanks guys for joining. I sound hoarse this evening. I'm not ill. I just went Raj at the karaoke on Thursday night, and so now I have this dulcet tone that I can make even huskier if I just lean back a wee bit. But I'm trying to keep it going, and I think the chat's actually helping warm it up a wee bit. So as we were talking about, dude, just caught up some interest. But yeah, the Thompson drop. If you never knew that, James, definitely check out dramface.com. They've got a really interesting wee chat about it, an article, and it's something that's really encouraging. I think should be applauded. It's not for everybody, and it's not something that all the suppliers can do either. But it's good. It gives them a wee bit of differentiation, and I'm sure most of us, or a couple, depending on if you don't like peat and stuff, will pick up a bottle. It'd be quite interesting. I'll definitely get a bottle, and I'll do it on here. I'll do it on the Saturday night, the opening, and then I'll probably do a for me or no for me video with it as well. Then I can kind of justify it in my head, the cost. Not that I make any money. You know, it pays for itself. Nah, none of it. And that's no me, that's no that. I'm not saying about money, but it's more just funny. That's how I justify it to myself. I'm like, I can make content with it, therefore it's free. Right, I'm going to move on to, we started 40% with the Black Label. I'm just checking the percentage of that. That one's 43. That one's 46. So I'm going to open this as a fresh bottle pop. We're going to open the Artist Blend. I've heard great stuff. Never had it, the Artist Blend. And so I'm quite intrigued to see how it is. I've had it at whiskey shows, that's a lie. Definitely had it at a whiskey show, but this is from 2016. So you're talking about 9 years. Do we know anybody? I'm seeing this is Northern Highlands of Scotland with a fragrant vanilla complexity of aged lowland grain. Rich, round and fruity. Enjoy it in a stirred boozy cocktail, refreshing tall drinks or straight up. For me, hands down, their best like intro and all that, and I say at the time was Orchid House. It's just unbelievable. But their stuff's always good. Do we think we need to panic buy bourbon before the tariffs take hold? I think you're going to see opportunistic people try and punt bourbon at inflated prices, but that 10% on top of what we're paying already, we already pay a tariff on like the bourbon, the tax. So it will make it a bit more, but it just depends what bourbon you're buying, Codger, to be fair. Like let's say you're buying an Elijah Craig single barrel, that averages over here at 120 quid. So you're probably going to be, what now, 135? But the problem is they're released, so there's nothing you can do. It comes out when it comes out. Versus maybe your Buffalo Trace. Which I would imagine would see a hike, but we get it cheap as it is. Like, and it's watered down, it's 40% as opposed to 45, so I don't know. I'll be intrigued to see how the demand goes and how people start to react to American products in the UK. I've seen it other markets. I know in Europe there's huge pushback. People like that will screw it, and Canada's obviously went up and cleared the shelves in some states, well, some provinces. Oh, and I'm going in with the mental glass, the one that I got from the Dingo guys. Get that? It's so weird. Is it dirty in it? Like, that looks dirty in the base. Shouldn't it be? It's fine. It's also dangerous. God, you could fill that up really easy. It smells nice. I've read the back. The back's saying it is like a rich, round and fruity. I would say that's what it is on the nose. It's definitely rich, it's golden, well rounded, fruity, like a bit of green apple, but not like appley, but just like a wee bit of green apple in there, like a fruit salad. Is it like a fruit salad, like a summer fruit salad? Tiny hint of like raspberry and strawberry, and but more a bowl of it, all combined. Anyway, we're not here to taste like that. Step up from the blue label. Step up from the black label. We'll leave it a wee while. It's fresh out the bottle. Let's put it that way. But it's pleasant. I don't have any problems with it. Lovely finish. Really nice finish on that. Peathead's on the Craigellachie. 16-year-old. Oh, what's the proof on that, Peathead? What are we looking at, Frank? James is waiting for the sales. Billy picked up a Rittenhouse Rye today just to be sure. Yeah. We all know that the world could be ending. There could be nothing left. There's not a chance he's having any. That comment, it comes in on YouTube first and then it comes through into the system software. So sometimes you'll see me look for be like, where's that comment? I can't move the camera, otherwise I would show you, but yes, you can. Why would you? But the pub, I don't quite understand why you would do it. Why would I need my glass line flat? But yeah, well, you can. The Dingo stuff, I'm a big fan of Dingo Distillery and the stuff they're doing there. They've got a great brand rep as well, Dave. And they're doing some really interesting stuff. I'd love to go. I was supposed to do, I've told you before, but for anybody new, I'd love to go. I was there, we were doing it, and then Stormdara came and just smashed it all apart. Not the distillery, just the plans, thankfully. And so it's still on my list to tick off. I need to get back there. Again, it's finding the time. The proof on the Craigellachie is 55. Oh, that's fine. That's fine, mate. I thought you were going to be like, it's a solid like 62.3% or something, as is SMWS way. Definitely opens up in the glass, this. Yeah. It does what it says in the tin.
And has anybody seen? So the reason for blends as well is blends have been in the news. Just pulling up Pete Hiscon. I've been told once, but forgot why you should lay the glass inside me before max contact. Yeah, maybe for like the contact. Could be. Has anybody seen on the news, as I was saying, well, not on the news, on Instagram, online, anything like that, the Master of Malt release that they brought out, and it was an April Fool's, and I thought it was April Fool's, and then very quickly it's not, and I'm resisting, but the novelty value of it, and again, if I can use it for content, is the Dowry milk that they have. Or dowry milk, but I think it's dowry milk. They play on the dairy milk bottle, and it's North British in it. It's North British Grain Spirit. 40 quid the bottle is, and they've been told. So they released it. They've done it, and it looked like that. You look at it, it looks like dairy milk. The labelling in that, and anyone that doesn't know, dairy milk is a British chocolate, Cadbury's dairy milk, and they've done such a good job of it that they got a cease and desist. Ceased and desist? Or am I saying that wrong? I can't even work it out. From Mondelez, the owners of Cadbury. So you can only, they're basically going to pull it on Monday. So if you want a bottle of it, it's that. Part of me thinks, is that PR tactics? You know? But I'm so tempted to get one. And it can join the horrendous bottle of KFC rum that I have up there, but also the Campbelltown soup that I have up there as well. I do like a novelty bottle for the shelf. It's good in the background. And while that's not a blend, it was just looking at it and thinking about it and thinking about price points, and we're seeing that the price of blends are coming down a little bit. Blends are becoming more prevalent because they're cheaper to make for people. And I think the cask price, looks like cask price boom is over. I saw a couple of price lists the other day, and I was surprised that what you can buy. Granted, some of these are long term, like you need to wait for maturation. But being able to get a cask of like Ardmore for under $1,000, it's unbelievable. And then the whiskey broker scandal that happened and what they were doing, and it's not a scandal, but people acted like it was a scandal, and being transparent with the pricing and just saying how, like, this is the price, we have this quantity of new make, and I'm trying to remember, I'm going to pull up who it was. It was a Diageo distillery that did it, that they bought the spirit from, and you guys will probably be quicker in the chat putting this in, but I just want to get it right. Whiskey broker. Let's see. Nope. I'm probably not going to find it. Linkwood. That was it. The Linkwood distillery tankard that came in, and they were selling it at £6.49 a litre of alcohol. So you could get a 200 litre bourbon barrel filled, 63.5 for £824 Linkwood. Like bourbon, like that's unreal. Like, and we've not seen pricing like that for a long time, and it's great that it's coming back. And I think that's why a lot of people are losing their head with the bottles and the pricing and all that kind of stuff from an independent bottler point of view, because I've put a lot of money into casks, and then this is happening, and we're seeing a correction in the market. But it's just interesting, and with the blends, the quality of blends is getting better and better again, and I think it's worth bearing in mind. I'm preaching to the converted in here, but it used to always be blends. Like, that's what whiskey was, blends. Single malts are a relatively new thing, you know what I mean, like in the grand context of time, but it's more, I think, if we can get good blends on people and convert. If you want to convert people via blend, perfect. For me, I'm always looking for the angle to get new people into whiskey. I'm just trying to think, how can we get more and more people into whiskey, enjoying it, like drinking it? Because at the end of the day, if nobody's buying it, nobody's making it, and that's the worry. That's the biggest worry. We've seen things shutting down. We've seen people getting not laid. Yeah, people have been getting laid off actually, but we've seen like distilleries shuttering. We've seen like make windows shortening. Just a lot of stuff. Frank, I can't buy. Look, to be honest, Frank, if you follow Whiskey Broker on Instagram or the website, they just post it, and they posted it, and it caused a lot of grief for them posting that Instagram post. And I'm like, because people don't like to know how the sausage is made. They don't want to know. But also the people making the sausage don't want you to know a lot of the time. So it fair play to them, and you can get some great independent, like get some great bottles direct from whiskey, but excuse me, some great whiskey bottles straight from Whiskey Broker, the bottle themselves. They did an amazing 25-year-old Aaron for like 80 quid. And I think it was a Christmas present. A lot of people jumped on it, bought loads and flipped them and stuff, but I think mine's just still clinging on to life. I think I've got about that much left in mine. Exactly, Kodja. Single cask aside is a blend, yeah, but the problem is the majority of people in here love a single cask. If they could have it delivered straight to their mouth from the cask, they would have it that way, because that'd be the cleanest way of having it. But it is, and I think the we're all. I don't think anyone amongst us would be like, oh, blends only for me or whatever. I think we all know that like there's decent, but there's still a perception that it needs to be XYZ. I was fannying about on TikTok, and clip from like fucking Suits or something was playing, and it was like he was trying to impress someone, and so he had to get my 25-year-old Macallan. Like, firstly, no. Secondly, that's perceived. It's got to be a single Scotch, American single Scotch, and this and that. Whereas what I'm going to move on to after I have this, it's probably better than that, in my opinion. See what I mean? I feel like maybe it's me. Maybe I just don't talk to enough people about it. But Eddie Rattray, man, it's like the drinker. It's like our wee secret. Like, the stuff they put out's really good. And I don't hear anybody talking about it, really. Am I missing it? Am I missing the whole conversation? Have I just been like kind of benched? All the cool kids are talking about it, and I have no idea. Because if not, great. If I have, aye, great. But I just think the quality of what they put out as well, really, really high, really high. So you're in safe hands, Derek. Obviously, you know that. Like, they're making a sausage, is it square? Look. It'll I'm biting my tongue. I'm not saying anything. But I could kill for square sausage. We have a place in London now that's got a lot of press attention. I don't know if you've seen it, regardless of where you are, but it's called Old Hag, AULDHAG, Old Hag. And I'd actually chatted to the owner, proprietor, chef that set it up. He's a Scottish chef, and he would post stuff on Instagram, and he posted the recipe for square sausage, and he posted the recipe for morning rolls, Glaswegian style morning rolls. Well, I say Glaswegian, Scottish morning rolls, but they felt very Glaswegian. and I made them, and it was brilliant. And I made square sausage from scratch, and I followed his instructions. And the problem was, I think his instructions were for like an event, so I ended up with this giant block of square sausage that was the densest thing I've ever had in my life. And the morning rolls, but we had them before the whiskey show a few years ago. It was brilliant. But he's opened up a Scottish deli in North Central London, just above Shoreditch, Angel, Islington way, and they do square sausage and they do potato scones and that. And I've still never been. I live southeast, so it'd be basically like me going to, I think, like probably Musselburgh from Glasgow for a Rome sausage, but like time wise, but I'm really tempted. I'm so tempted. Anyway, that's me dodging that comment, Codger. He had, only one he had was decent was a Glenrothes. The rest was high quality in my opinion, and that's surprising as well because Glenrothes, I think, is a great distillery. I think the output independently is fantastic, but yeah, they have a really high bar. I got a Ben Nevis from them, and it was brilliant. It was like it wasn't like any other Ben Nevis I'd ever had before. It was so I say like before, up until that point, it was so fruity and like a hard boiled candy kind of fruit. Like it was lovely. It was delicious. And I've hunted for it ever since and never had it. But the weirdest thing about that bottle was it was distilled, the liquid, because it gave you the exact date. It was made, the whiskey was made the last working day I ever had in Scotland. It was a Friday. How mad's that? And it was I could trace it. It was a Christmas party in Edinburgh. Went to work, Christmas party, and then I left for London on Sunday. So that bottle, I've still there somewhere. I eked it out in the end because it was delicious, but also I was like, oh my god, this is so this is so weird. Found an angle to it. Nae rolls, Codger. Codger, you might enjoy this. So Robert Florence, to give him his stage name. Rab Florence was one half of Burniston. So before Burniston and all that, he was in comedy, he was writing stuff, he was doing stuff, but he also had a game show, but like an actual game show, like about computer games and board games and stuff. And then he started making stuff on YouTube, and it was brilliant. I think it was called Video Geddon, the one he had. But weirdly, he came up on Instagram or Twitter or something the other day, and I thought, oh, I wish he'd make that stuff again. And it turns out he's been making that stuff. And I watched 2 episodes a day, and it's brilliant. I'll find the name and I'll put it in the chat. Or I'll just find the name here. I'll tell you what it's called. Consolvania on YouTube. Consolvania. And he's doing, I don't quite know the concept because I just jumped in as soon as I saw it. But the video I watched was 1989, and it's basically him just kind of going back in time to 1989 and talking about the stuff. Like content. Like what TV was on, what the game shows were like, what the computer games were like, what the kids' TV was like, and it goes on about Funhouse with Pat Sharp and stuff. It's brilliant. So I know that you're a Burniston fan. If you're not already on it, get watching. I had no idea. I feel terrible. I'm like, oh my god, all this stuff's just been sitting there. And I look at the views, and it's a few thousand views. And I'm like, this should be getting tens of thousands of views. Really good content. Anyway, tangent. But Billy, you have one. You have one. This is what I mean. Like, that's 3 people in this chat of like, we're not a huge audience, and we have AD Rattray whiskey. So it's, I think they're doing something right. They're doing something right. At this moment, the last working day was a Friday as well. My last working day was Friday, and then my next working day will be Monday. Yeah. So, verdict on that great, the artist blend. Perfectly acceptable, fine. Another one that is, if it's on a bar somewhere and there's nothing else, it's fine. Would I go out my way and buy it again? No, I picked it up at auction. It was quite cheap at auction. I can't even remember, maybe 20 quid for it at auction. But aye, it was fine. It was fine. To be honest, I'm more looking forward to the next one, as you can imagine. I'm just going to pour it into the same glass because I know what it tastes like. We all know what it tastes like. So we're talking about blends. We're talking about like the perceived. You need to have a 25-year-old. You've got to have it's got to be Macallan. It's got to be this. It's got to be like single malt, Scotch, whatever. We all know that this is just banging. I don't think I've ever met a whiskey drinker that's went, no, not for me. Well, I know there's one in the chat in there who's not going to enjoy it, but the anti-grape squad before he jumps on it, but the value in that is unbelievable. The taste is unbelievable. We all love it. It's everybody's favourite. Batch 5 on this, and if you don't know, and I'll say this every time, just public service announcement. Your batch is there. See, just under the QR code, just there. This is batch 5, so this should still be the Edrington stock. Which, just talking of, I wonder if Royal Mail Whisky had a whiskey at Christmas time. They put out a blend, and apparently it's of the same ilk. It's of the same ilk. There's a slight delay between us in the chat, James. So there you go. Is there a batch number on it? I should have just answered it. So it's almost like I'm reactive. Oh, you don't need to retract the message, but it's more. Yeah, there is. The one that was at Royal Mail Whisky was like I want to say it was like a Christmas whiskey. It was one that they put out. They might. I'm just checking to see if they have some left. The people that I trust in whiskey went wild for it, and I can't remember why I never bought any. It might have just been I never had the money. But as a drinker, they were all going like, "This is fantastic." So I'm just going to see if it's it'll be a Royal Mail Whisky exclusive. So my price. Stocking filler. Still have it. Stocking filler. So I'm going to how is it easiest way of me doing this? I'm going to drop this link in the chat for anybody that is interested. It is Edrington stock. Go here, go there. Why is it not coming up? Go here. I was able to do this the last time. Apologies, guys. Let me just. I don't want to be messing about. Let me do it here. Find it. I'll drop the link in the chat. But basically, stocking filler is it's Edrington stock. It's Macallan, and it's sherried, so it's why is it not coming up? There we go. 35 quid a bottle. 11-year-old. Now, we're at the stage, I believe, that just cut that out, get rid of Blackfield. Yeah, I've put it in. That should work. We're at the stage with the Thompson Brothers stuff that it is no longer the original parcel. They've worked to find a way to make it. So I know that a few of the guys in my whiskey group were like, this is even better than that. Which is saying something. And I'm just, sorry, I'm going, because I was too busy focused on that. Let me get rid of that off my screen. James has it. Not the Black, no, not the Black Friday one, but I know that I heard that was Edrington as well, and that's, yep, you confirm it. Here. There was certain ones, wasn't there, Pete, that you would have. I had a good mate of mine growing up at high school, JP, wee JP, and he was called wee JP because he was quite wee, and he looked for certain numbers. I never drank it. I don't know. I was too sensible in my young years, and he would mix it with milk. Certain batch numbers in milk. It was like chocolate milk, and then one day he came up to us. Well, at house parties he would do it, and then at a house party one day he's like just drinking it for the bottle. And we're like, what, you know, making your milkshake thing for your chocolate milk, and he was like, oh, do you know such and such his cousin? No, he died because he was drinking it and he was sick and he choked on it. I'll never forget that. And I was like, firstly, why was this even a thing where you mixed tonic wine and milk? And secondly, you still no sold it to me. So I just never really get into it. I think the first time I properly had any was like a Bucky Bomb. The Bucky Bomb in stereo box. Sucky Old Street. Terrible. Pete, try it. You can actually buy Buckfast off the Whiskey Exchange. So buy it, try it up. But that's what he did. It never curdled. It was like chocolate milk. I'll never forget. I was always like, oh, that looks, no for me. He loved it, and then that happened. I don't know whether it was true or not, but he stopped. He was shell shocked, and he never drank it that way ever again. So I assume it was true. Master of Malt release. So their Black Friday was an Edrington parcel as well. Right. What blends in the glass tonight? Just emptied a glass of Hazelburn 10 and ready for Hazelburn 15 also. Like, no one you don't have to drink along with me. You don't have to be doing blends or whatever. Drink whatever you want. And what a fantastic Hazelburn 10 and Hazelburn 15. I love a Hazelburn. People don't talk enough about Hazelburn. They get caught up in Kilkerran, they get caught up in Long Row, they get caught up in obviously Springbank. I don't know if it's maybe just a wee bit of snobbery of sorts, but it's because it's softer. I always think Hazelburn's just a little bit softer on the palate. Has no batch number. So does it have any date on it, Kyle? Because maybe they never did batches. Maybe they just shipped over some. I'm just wondering when they would have got yours over. But I think yours will still be original parcel. Because when they started shipping stuff over to the States, it was maybe a few months before this came out. So I would assume that that's happened. First note for me, pretty much. I was always I was too sensible. For an East End boy, Glasgow, I was always very sensible. My parents were always good with alcohol in terms of like, there was never any pressure, like, don't drink, whatever. It was just like, look, don't be stupid. And so I think that guided me in a way. When I saw that, I was like, I'm good. It's not for me. I did love a red square though. The big red squares. That was the premix of like Red Bull and vodka in a silver bottle. Good times. Absolutely good times. Jeffrey, welcome. No need to apologise at all. Glad you're here, but P-Head's probably telling you to go and stand in the corner at some point. Because how dare you be late? He's no. Oh, come on. Come on, Frank, man. Done me there. Evening, Jeff. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. We've got Rob. Rob, welcome. Hope it's better weather where you. What's going on there? Where are you? What's going on? Let us know. Let us know. Anybody joining late? Say again, I sound terrible. It's because not of illness, but because of karaoke and the siren that is Britney Spears luring me to the rocks with her songs. And you can see just the effect it has on me. No date, and the QR code just takes me to the store. I reckon if it tastes delicious, it will be the original parcel. If it still tastes delicious and it's not, then it's a win. But does everybody knows the story about this? So, late joiners, we are on a blends evening this evening. Currently on the Thompson Brothers, the TBBSW. Everybody knows the story about it. If you don't, the story is they put in this delicious sherry blend. It kind of shook stuff up because it was like £32 on release. It's now up to 35. And then as it kind of eked out that the parcel was an Edrington parcel of Macallan that had accidentally been poured into a vat that had a tiny bit of grain whiskey remaining in it, therefore polluting it. Edrington couldn't do anything with it. The guys in Dornoch swooped in, bought it, and flung it out, and everybody loved it. Pete knows the good stuff. It was great. It was such a good drink. It just tasted like Red Bull. It's just a lovely dram. So far we've had Black Label, we've had the Artist Blend. Coming on to that, the malt really pulls through. The malt, so definitely the March Dram Madness for me has definitely made my palate a lot more sensitive to things. And the malt in this, well, it's majority malt, isn't it, really? But when you move from a grain blend, something with grain in it, to that, to me, it's almost chocolatey off the bat because of the malt. It's just such a distinct, and I've not had that before. But it's just a great example of like high quality, low price, and it's more of what we need. Jeffrey's doing his golf clubs, regrouping his golf clubs. Pretty rainy weekend so far. We've had, to be fair, the weather's been in the UK this week. The weather's been great. We've had a horrendous winter, and this week everybody's just sprung to life. We've just had blue skies, and there was a satellite image. There was a Scottish weatherman that posted it. It's like, how good is this? And it was like no cloud over the entire country. That never happens. Never happens. Rob's in soggy St. Louis, Missouri. Oh, mate. But I've seen that. I've seen there's a lot of. I've seen there was flood warnings, isn't there, in Kentucky and stuff as well. Like the weather's a bit mental at the moment. I always find it wild because I still have. If you've got like your iPhone and you have your weather widget, I just keep a load of places on there. Like if I'm going there and then I forget to delete them. And I was looking at Louisville and it was like, this happened when I was there, where it'd go from like 16 degrees, 17 degrees, 4 next day, then up to 21 the next day, and I'm like, the weather's so mental, like absolutely crazy over there. So I'm sorry that you're having to deal with the wet. To be fair though, normally what happens is that happens to you, and then somehow it happens to us a week later. So fingers crossed we're not going to get smashed with something like that. Did you have to pay tariffs to join in? Oh. Thankfully not yet. Not yet. Yeah, stunning weather at the moment, 23 in the sun. Yeah, no, I know, it's been brilliant. It's been so good. It's been so nice to have the weather here. Here we go. See, every single week, if we don't talk about the weather, is it a Saturday night drams? Is it really? Because the weather always gets a good shout out. It's just a quality drum. Quality drum. Is there any blend so far? We've shouted out, we like this, we like that. Black Label's fine. Compass Box do good stuff. We know the Thompson Brothers do good stuff. Any other ones that we're missing? Now, I don't have any McLean's Noise here. They had the Merkin blend. That's good. I've got Campbelltown Lock back there. I just didn't really fancy opening it, to be honest. I've got the right there, that bottle. That's last year's Fringe bottle, the blend. That's meant to be really good. Anything else that's in your wheelhouse, guys, that you think, oh my goodness, this is a great blend for the money? Now, we've chatted, for anybody joining late, we've chatted about the AD Rattery independent bottlers and just the quality output they've been doing. And to answer that, Rob, you don't have to. Just my wee theme tonight was about quality blends. Just like, normally what I try and do with what I'm drinking is some form of theme, because then it gives me something to talk about to keep stuff going in case I don't have enough to chat about, or maybe the chat's quiet, or maybe people haven't joined. So I went for blends this evening just because I've got quite a few now, and I'm just always like, quite fancy doing it. But if you don't have any blends, by all means, just drink your good stuff. That's what everybody else is doing. And also, I'm drinking the St. Omar French beer, made for Morrison's. But perfect little half and half fodder. Exactly. Follow Pete Head's example. Kentucky's had a lot of flooding. The rivers here. Yeah, I know. It's regardless of what your science beliefs are, it's been pretty crap, isn't it? Like, I had a friend of mine that went over last year, I would say maybe autumn, and he got hit in the devastating floods. He went with his wife on a holiday and got absolutely hit by those devastating floods. Luckily, they were fine in the end. But then one of the guys, Garrett, that I met in Louisville, the journalist, writer, his entire life washed away. Brutal, man. Brutal. So you can only hope, like, fingers crossed, everybody's okay. Never nice. Noble Rebel. Yeah, the Noble Rebel stuff's really good. That's coming out. That's out a lot Lomond, isn't it? Derek, I'm pretty sure it is. Cutty Sark Prohibition, which I don't have. And like, I know Jeff is like the number one. He's the person that puts it on everyone's radar. I would have to say that. Mark, welcome in. I know hopefully you've been watching a while. If not, great. Thanks for joining. I know that you normally watch your streams. I mean, this evening. Kenhead 7 stars. Great blend. Nectarosity. See, Compass Box as well. Just good stuff. Just good stuff. That it's so funny, isn't it? I always like it's pointing out the obvious, but when you have a blend, that's just that good. Where did I go next? I'm doing it. All I'm doing tonight is I'm doing it by proof. That was my decision. Do it by proof. Make it easy. So originally I'd picked one woven up to do this, like from the shelf. I've got a couple of them, a few, and then I forgot the t-shirt I was wearing, so I picked up the other one as well. So the first one we're going to do from woven is the experience number 7. And if you've never bought woven, see on the back, they have a little, let's do that. See if I can get that close. Scale of what they reckon the measure, like, is it going to be exploratory? Is it complex? Is it balanced? Or is it, this is more between, this was closest to fresh. And this one is more focused around the traditional leaf whiskey. I'm going to do a different glass for this. I just love the bottles, and these are still the 500ml bottles, 50cl. And they're bigger now, and it's funny when I go to the festivals and that, I've not bought any of the bigger ones, and they just seem like humongous. They seem really big in hand, because they're now 700ml. But they've just released their All England blend, and I had that at the Croydon Whisky Festival, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic. It was all red berries. It was so juicy. Really shocked me. Really shocked me. So if you get the chance to try it, do it. If you like your fruity berry whiskey, don't hesitate. I know it's an English blend and people will be a wee bit on the fence about it. It's great. It's really good. It's really good. That was Derek just confirming, yes indeed, that the Noble Rebel is from Loch Lomond. Just in case anybody doesn't know. Perpetuity from Port of Leaf, I think. Evening against my odds. Hope you're keeping well. The nose on this. It's almost like an aftershave. That's how fresh it smells. How weird. It's like a strong aftershave. Like, take me back to like childhood aftershave. You know, like remember your dads or your uncles or whatever weren't, or any guy, like just that. Very like very plant, very green vegetal on the palate, but I'm coming from something so malty. It's lovely. It's really nice. I like it. I do like it. Codger's staying on the scallywag going down well. Yeah, absolutely. Need to jump about. Guys, don't follow me. I'm just doing this to help keep the flow going. But by all means, stay on what you're having if you're enjoying it. Scallywag's great. But yeah, honestly, it's a really good, the woven all English thing. I had it at the festival. It hadn't came out yet. It was delicious. Shocked me how good it was. I would love to see how this does. I would really like to see how it does. I hope it does well. I hope it does well. weirdly, I think it will do worst amongst English people, because I think they don't realise that they have good whiskey now at all. Like your broad general consumer who would see it and be like all English blend and want something Scottish or American or whatever. Take a wee bit of time, but it's lovely. It'll turn heads. Jeffrey's been searching for that cutty, can't find it. I did pick up a Lismore single malt, might just crack it open tonight. Go on, get it opened. Why not? If you don't want to open it, don't open it. But if you need an excuse, do it. Billy saying, think the favourite blend I've got for the moment is not surprising McLean's Nose, but I only have 6 bottles of Scottish blends. Look, the McLean's Nose to me is the... I'm nothing if not consistent. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's like the big brother, like the older big brother of Black Label in my book, which is a big compliment. It's a big compliment I could give it. And the reason I got there was because my uncle's favourite whiskey is the Black Label. And that's his treat whiskey. He loves Black Label. And I said, if you like that, you'll love this. And it was like a step change. But you don't realise as well, when somebody gets so used to something, they move on to something a little bit higher proof. Not chill filtered, whatever. It's quite a leap. But it's fantastic. I really do need to get another bottle of it. That aftershave smell dissipates. This is the Woven Experience number 7. And this is what they do. Normally they do experiences, but they started to put names against the experiences rather than just numbers. The vegetable's gone now. That was definitely because of the last dram. It's lovely. This is 45.3%, which actually, buggered up. I knew that. It's less than the Thompson Brothers should have been in the spot, and that should have been that one. Oh well. Oh well. Fantastic. Really enjoyable. I like the woven stuff. I don't know if you guys have had it. Some people hate it. I enjoy it. I like what they're doing. They're making a big push on, again, getting whiskey into the hands of people that don't normally pick it up. Which leads me on to the second one that I have here. I'm not going to finish that, because if I finish that and then go into that and then that, we're not here for that. Second one is the... Let me get that right. Hemispheres, which is a collab with pretty much a small independent Kiwi New Zealand distillery. That when I tried their stuff at the whiskey show a couple of years ago, blown away by how good the whiskey was. Now, it's not surprising because I've had whiskey from New Zealand before and it's been really good, but they were just it was fantastic. And weirdly, I then went to the Woven stand, spoke to Pete, who's a master blender, and full disclosure, we were chatting and then got talking and talking about YouTube and whatever, and then said about my day job's this. And weirdly, I used to work with his brother. Thankfully, we got on. We're pals. So off the back of that, chatting about Pete, every time I see him, there's more. It's an easy conversation. And he's like, "Oh, what?" And I said, "Oh, I've just tried that. You need to get up there and try that key one for Thompson Brothers. No Thompson Brothers, just Thompson Whiskey." And he's like, "Oh, I might be doing something with him." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "I've been in discussions. I've tried it. It's unbelievable." But when I was there, I got that. Let me do this off. I still have it. My Thompson Whiskey t-shirt that I got given at that whiskey show. So I was wearing that the night, and I thought, well, I need to pull out the hemisphere if I'm doing the blend. Now, I'll be honest, when I first opened this, it was hot. I found it very hot. And so I've only had, can you see, there's not a huge amount out that. So I've left it for a while. So we're going in again. I'll be honest. We'll see how we go. We're at that point of the evening where I have to rinse out glasses. 2 seconds. Now this one comes in at a whopping 51.4%. On the back, anything Manuka smoked, single malt, and it's mixed with, I believe it's North British, because it says one of Scotland's largest distilleries, urban yet elegant. I'm pretty sure that's North British because it's in Edinburgh, and I feel like I was told that already. And on the back, experienced whiskey, it tips all the way to the other side of the scale. So big step change from the other one, but yeah, secretly sponsored. The entire show is sponsored by Thompson. Imagine that was the way of me showing it. But yeah, got this t-shirt. It's a lovely t-shirt, so I wear it quite a lot. Weirdly, even at work, if I get a jump on that, 'cause it's just the actual fabric's lovely. Rob and Peter not tried any woven yet. I think you'll try it try it at a show. Rob might be a bit more difficult. I don't know what the distribution is in the States, but Frank, you'll be able to try it. Glasgow, wherever you go. Maybe have it early in the day before the palate gets too much. Billy, yes, they have. They did the Friends of North blend as well, didn't they? Again, I know Frank Pied saying doesn't do much on Instagram, but definitely worthwhile following them on Instagram. They're getting, their socials are really good. Pete and the gang went out there, toured distilleries, try it. Like, everybody loves a story. Yeah, they do. It's when we had it at the show, we tried a couple of them, and it was just, the quality was so much better than what it should have been. You know, you go with an expectation, you hear the story, you hear the spiel, and you try it, and when you kind of step back, I think he was getting a lot of that day, because he wasn't surprised by our reaction, so he had the faith in the product. Right, this instantly tight. %51.4%. It's lovely. It's lovely. I don't know if it's because we were talking about the Manuka honey. It has that to it. It has a honeyness to it. the grain, the sweetness is subdued by that peaty. Does it say it's peaty? Smoked, Manuka smoked. So it has this smokiness to it, and it subdues the grain sweetness. I think on the nose, it's nothing. It's not blowing me away. It's not going. My throat's thanking me for that. That is delicious. And it's came at the right time with the peat. I just keep saying peat. It's not peat. Smoke. The smokiness of it is like my brain's going to like an American diner grill. Smoke coming off that, but not meaty, but just like smoke, like a barbecue joint or whatever. Like the smoke in the air. Brilliant, really good. But I will say, when I first opened it, I found it very hot. So if you do get it and you open it and you're not enjoying it, just wait, come back to it. It's pleasant in the nose, but the profile of it is so much better than the nose. And that can go the other way. A lot of times you have it and you just think, oh, what am I doing? Not enjoying that at all. There's a comment between James and against my odds. I would love to know what you're talking about. I'm trying to decipher the comments. I'm trying. This one, the only reason I'm saying it is because this here just makes me go, I don't know what's going on anymore. Classic shanty or modern interpretation. So please let me know. Let me know what's going on there, because I'm sure that other people are sitting there going, what exactly is going on there? Look, this is what I mean. Like, what is going on? So, we've reached the time of the night where I'm going to talk about March Dram Madness. This time last week, I can't believe it was only, I need to check the date. Yeah, it was only last week. This time last week, it hadn't concluded. And it was a long old shift. It was a really long shift. And I'm going to do a roundup video. I need to just find the time, stand and film it. But 31 days of that content, and it was very repetitive, and it didn't it was more an experiment on my part to do it, because you watch videos and you hear people say it and you read stuff, and it's like, if you want to grow your YouTube, but be consistent with your posting and deliver and bring people back and do this and do that, we're in a niche. I'm in a really tight niche, and trying to find people to find that content and get that content and do whatever, it can be quite demotivating when the views don't come, and then it can be even more demotivating when you make cheap, quick content and it does great. So I thought, right, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to commit, I'm going to do a month of content. I'm going to make all these videos about whiskey. But I'm also going to use it as an opportunity to just work on my palate. I've never been a channel that was about that. I've never been a channel about reviews. I've never done that. And for me started because I couldn't get out and do the videos that I wanted to do, but I wanted to keep the channel alive, so I had to do something. And the live stream started for the same reason, and all that. And I'm not in the pursuit of making this a financial, like, anything. It's not about that. It's just I just wanted to make sure that I didn't lose all the hard work over the years that I'd put into it. But it was an experience. It was an experience. Was it tough? Yes, it was really tough to do every day. Did I film them and edit them same day and do it? No, of course I never. Of course I didn't. I'd have killed myself. And I would have also... I have a young child, I have a job, I have a wife, like, I have a dog. When I tried to do it at Christmas time, that taught me that, no, you need to kind of almost backfill a little bit of content. However, I did start filming them. They were all filmed in March. Did them all in March. Then got them edited, got a good run, managed to get ahead and then caught up because life happened. And then had to, like, the pressure was on to get stuff churned out and do it, but then I wanted to do it to a certain standard. And the last video, well, the last couple, the semi-final and that, some, I would say some really lovely shots that were in there and whatever. That was always my ambition, but ambition versus reality, like, what can you churn out, get moving and get out. And by the end of it, I just wasn't enjoying it at all. The making process of it, the whiskey, like, actually standing when I'm behind there, when what you're watching, I'm enjoying 100%. But from the creator point of view, it was really becoming a bit just too tough for me to be motivated by and try and sort stuff. And then I'm just being really honest about it. It just wasn't for me, and so I'm going to step back from anything like that. I'll probably end up doing it again next year. I'm saying I'm never going to do it again, but I probably will end up doing it again. I'm going to go to Rob's first, then I'll come back to you, Billy. But I appreciate you saying that. It was me out my comfort zone so much. And yeah, it was honestly, it was such an undertaking, and it was so tough to do. And then you're hearing, like, if you do all this content and stuff, you'll get the reward. And to be honest, I never really seen the reward. I didn't get the reward. And then I put up... I'm very fortunate. My YouTube community, you guys are fantastic. My comment, the people that watch me is... I don't really get any negative comments either, so I don't get trolls. So I don't get brought down by that. What brings me down is... I'm making these videos, I'm doing it. And I'm just like, why am I doing it? And you kind of get lost halfway through. Because in, like, day 15, day 16, I'm kind of like, what am I even doing anymore? Who cares? And then you jump ahead and you think, well, in future, is there a rewatch value? Are people going to find these videos and watch them? Well, no, really. Because they can just jump to the last one and see who won. But I'm still seeing views on them, so that's good. I always say to people, like, if you ever want to find what you want to do, go and do something that you don't want to do, or you think you want to do, and then you hate it, and then you very quickly focus in. Off the back of it, I've not made a video this week, obviously. I felt at a loss, because every single evening I had been editing, filming, doing something in March, all the way through. The only day, a couple of days I never, was like my birthday. Managed to get, like, ahead of it a bit, and maybe maybe one or two more. Was that? And so it finished, and I was kind of like, oh, I felt a bit like, Briggs in the Shawshank Redemption, where he's kind of like doesn't know what to do. He's so institutionalized. And so I've been working on my other project that is coming. Part of this, but it's not a video. That's all I can say. It's not a video. And now I'm kind of like, right, I know what videos I want to make. It's just finding the time. And I'm back to square one, because that's why I was doing the other videos. So for me, I know for me, it's coming back. That'll come back either this week or next. Drams on the run. I've got the content, just need to edit it. I'm still not happy with what I've got. But I don't know whether just to put it out, just get rid of it, and then move on from that. We'll see. But I appreciate you guys that watched them all. It was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed the drinking part. I enjoyed the actual tournament itself. It was more, this is me more in the creative part of it, because there just wasn't much I could do with it at all. And fair play to everybody that does. It's such an undertaking. It's a bit of a thankless task, reviewing whiskey. And it wasn't even reviews, it was head to heads. And it was all about my palate, but still I was just like, so that's my roundup on Markstrom madness. Please still watch the video that I put out, because it was going to say a lot of that, but I might be able to shoot it a little bit different. It's all going on. James, I see you pop up on a lot of live streams and a lot of stuff. It's quite funny. I'm like, oh, there's James. One man support network. That's it, Rob. Honestly, the editing, I've got a screen. I did a screen recording of me editing a video, and it wasn't the full process. I started a wee bit late, and it was like 16 gig of me editing. It's the most boring thing in the world, but I'm going to use it as a time lapse. Those even 6 minute long videos, they never were 6 minute. I'd do the whiskey, and I'd really think about it, and I'd try and pull it all out in that, and then that's why it's so different style of editing than I would normally do, but it's very vloggy, very I'm constantly talking, there's no pauses or whatever, and you want it tight, and so then you have to watch it back again. So then maybe you're at maybe you film for 14 minutes, you've got it down to 8, but you're having to watch that 8 minutes again, and then go back and do it, and then go back and do it, and then So it did. I would say each video, let's say there's 31 videos, March Madness. Let's average it out. 6 minutes of video. 10 videos would be an hour. Let's say there's 3 and a bit hours content there. I would say it probably took me about 55 to 70 hours to make that series. Which is insane. It's insane. But I enjoyed it because I enjoyed the drinking. I enjoyed what it did for my palate. I enjoyed what I pulled out. I enjoyed the experience of learning from that. I enjoyed learning what I don't like. I think you've got to look at the positives of it. If you sit in the negatives, I wouldn't do this. I could look at the numbers of who's live at the moment, but then I see the numbers of who watches longer, and then I afterwards, and I can do all that. I do it because I enjoy it, and I've got to remind myself of that. It's not a numbers game. But that's it. But Gav does it great. Ralphie does it very similar as well, doesn't he? Just up and does it. How does he do it? I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know how Jeff does it. I don't know. I started making videos like that, and it took so long. It's just, and even when I was making those videos, I was like, I could do this, I could do that, I could put this in, and I'm saying stuff all the time, and finding innuendos in my own conversations, and I'm going, oh, I could say that, oh, I'd do that. But you just kind of get bogged down on it, and it's the reason why Jeff Whiskey spoke about it. There's been other whiskey YouTubers that have quit. It can get really demotivating because you spend so much time making the video sometimes. like, and you put so much time and effort into it, and it does nothing. It does nothing. Nobody sees it. Nobody comments. Whereas when you make something throwaway and it does well, then you kind of just get like, this is a thankless game. But it's more about, for me, it was about the consistency. I wanted to give myself the exercise of 31 days of content. And I use the word content because it wasn't 31 days of drinking whiskey, because that would kill me. And it wasn't 31 days of like supplying you guys with new whiskey content to work. It was more just, I want to see how this goes, and then I want to see what the long tail of it is, which I'm watching now. And if I can't take stuff from it, then I shouldn't be doing anything at all. So it's more that. But it's been, everybody's different. Everybody and that's what's great about Whiskey Tube. Everybody makes their own type of content. And for me, I now know, I'm like, right, this is the direction I'm going to go in. So I'm going to do live streams, because I really enjoy doing these. But the actual videos themselves, I'm getting more focused on that. And I know now, I'm like, okay, right, that's not for me. That's no for me. I can't do that. I don't enjoy doing it. And so that's the main thing. It's like, if you don't enjoy doing something, then let's not do it. I am, however, I made a conscious decision that I'm going to make some more basic videos, just to have them in there, because they'll get views over time, but they'll be fun, and they'll be done in my own way. So all this stuff, it's been really useful. Mark's Dram Madness, it broke me. Well, nearly broke me. Very close to break me. It didn't actually break me. Nearly broke me. But it's there now. It's there forever. Like, people can go on the playlist and watch through it and just watch me make videos. And you saw it throughout. If you watched those videos back to back, the lighting changes, the angle changes, the editing style changes, because it was a progression. And that's exactly what it was meant to be. It was meant to be an exercise. Exactly, Codger. I put stuff went together that I would never have. Plus, I drank some whiskies that just have been sitting in shelves for ages, and I picked the whiskies by just memory in the house. I sat down with a notepad and wrote down whiskies that I knew I had. I didn't look at the bottles. I didn't start to deliberate. I was like, I'm just going to do it that way, and then I just uploaded them. There's your pairing, and I was like, fine, we'll do it. And I never did the pairing, let's change. I just did it and then went with it, because I was like, that's the fairest way of doing it. And it meant that, unfortunately, like the Adelphi squadron, they all got grouped together. That would have changed everything if they'd been more spread out, because I love the Glengarry. Like the Glengarry Adelphi bottling, but it never happened. Fucking Rip Van Winkle going out against Woven. Fuck. But also it taught me about my palate. It taught me like how you're feeling on one day means your palate will go one way, and how you're feeling the other day, your palate goes the other way. What you had for your dinner will change it. Like it was bizarre. It was bizarre. And but I think like this is why I double-edged sword. I don't chase the views, because all you guys that watch the videos and enjoy it and know where I'm coming from, and so don't give me any grief. Versus if I can chase views and I get loads of people watching them, there'll just be a lot of stupid comments and a lot of feedback. So it's a double-edged sword. I think it is. Frank, I asked him, I spoke to him briefly in Glasgow. It was late, it was about 11:30 at night. I feel like at the Bon Accord on the Saturday, so you can imagine the quality of that conversation. But he does what he does, and he wants to make that's the thing. It's not a. You have to make a conscious decision. Are you going to spend your time doing this? I enjoy doing this. Not from an ego point of view. I enjoy the creation. I enjoy making. I I like making videos. I've made videos for, I'm what, 40? I've made 41. I've made videos for the last like 20 odd years, like from video cameras and all that. So for me, it's more a passion of that, plus another passion colliding, so I'll do it. And I think for Gav, it's probably similar. He enjoys maybe just the community and the conversation and the being able to experience something and then document it and do it. I'm speaking on his behalf. I don't know why he does it, but everybody's different and how they do it. And his authenticity of that comes through so strong, and I love his videos, and I wish they got far more views. Because I think what he says and what he does and how he does it is brilliant. And I say that to him. I was like, I love your videos. Just, are you sponsored by Cadenhead? Because if you're not, you should be. Does a great job of bigging them up. It does, Rob, and that's why even I just don't. I made a conscious decision that I just don't shit on other whiskies either or anything like that, because I'm just like, it's easy to punch down. It's very easy. That's interesting to hear, Pete. I think the algorithms definitely know it's constant content. Seen a lot of you in my feed, not seen a Ralphie video in there for a few weeks now too. That's interesting, because I obviously I don't see any of that. But I'm wondering, because I'm seeing like a lot of views on the Drams podcast out of nowhere. I'm like, so it must be correlating to that output as well, and people are clicking on that. But then I'm just like, they're clicking that, but they're not clicking on other stuff. It's a constant mystery. You never know what's going to perform well and what's not going to perform well. I'm just happy. I'm so close now to unlocking memberships. So that's a big thing, because it's not really about the money or that, but it's more that's the first achievement I can make in YouTube. 3,000 hours unlocked this membership and the custom fucking emojis and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm nearly there. Then you have to unlock, I need to do another 1,000 hours of watch time before I can monetize videos, which you guys would see ads on all those videos and whatever. I don't get a penny of that currently. And for the viewers commenting and liking helps to influence the algorithm. Yeah, I do know that, the comments, and so, but the problem was, because I was so locked in, and I don't think that my comments influence it, but your comments would. But for example, since I stopped, so since last week, there's been no new comments on any of it. It was like it's done, and I don't know if I've kind of done that for myself by calling it March Dram Madness. So what I might do is, there might be a conscious decision where I go back and just rename the thumbnails, not the thumbnails, the actual title and stuff to Dram Madness. And maybe that takes away the March element. Maybe people don't watch because I don't know. But this is the thing, you're constantly second guessing yourself, trying to do it. Careful if you see Van Winkle on a Whiskey Tube live stream, the tater starts showing up. Yeah, I know. But that's why I'm surprised at that. Like, here's Rip up against bloody Woven, and Woven wins. I don't even get trolled at that. Yeah, if you were talking to Gav during the Glasgow Whisky Festival weekend on Saturday evening in the Bon Accord, I can imagine he might have been confused. Been talking to me before. Honestly, I feel like I huckled him. I feel like I cornered him and was like, Gav, are you I remember saying to him, are you sponsored by Cadenheads? You need to stop doing all their stuff. He's like, I like their stuff. And I was like, not having that time. I'm just like, you're You're such a brand ambassador for them. But I suppose that's probably why he gets the bottles. Not because of the YouTube, but he likes their stuff, he buys them. Oh, Sharon lets us find out about brands we probably never get to try. Yeah, exactly. And also for me, it was more about like the positives I did take from it was the pairing. The pairing of what I was doing was sending my palate all over the place and was bizarre. And I'd picked ones like when I'd up there and I was writing them down, and then I found I had all that Indian whiskey. And the way the draw went, it was all up front. And they all kind of got knocked out. And I was really shocked at that. Especially the Indri, because Indri's fantastic. And then I'm like, oh my God, is this... second guessing it, but I'm doing it as it's coming in. And then all my videos, and I've got them all. The raw footage, where you can watch me hum and haw and slurp and do everything. I came in with no agenda, and I tried to do no research on each bottle so that I could just fire through, make it as short as possible to edit and get out. And unfortunately my natural instincts took over and I couldn't do it. And I know I keep on this stream night at the moment, I'm looking down because I'm trying to just process everything in my head of what we did. It was just insane. So anybody, if you ever see people do content series like that, if you see people that put in like a hell of a lot of time, just give them a comment and say well done, or a like or whatever, because it's a lot. I know people do, like, I tried to do it at Christmas time and I felt like we were getting a Vlogmas. Then you have Vlogmas. There is they all come up with all these names for them. So I'll try and do a Vlogmas again. And I think the Vlogmas one will be whiskey focused, but also just a bit of fun. And I did that this year, and some of the videos just did terrible. Just did shit. But that's what it is. Yeah, Billy, I have YouTube Premium as well. It's only like it's the best subscription you can get. If you've not got YouTube Premium, I highly recommend it. It is expensive in certain countries. Look up, and there's ways. That's all I'll say. There's ways of it being cheaper. But yeah, no. So I don't see ads. So I don't even. Unfortunately, I just don't think about it. So I've never done shorts, and the reason I've never done shorts is because I hate seeing them on my subscription feed. And so I'm walking a delicate line of trying to grow the channel, but I don't want to piss off everybody that watches the channel normally. So I'm trying to find that middle ground where it can work. Speaking of which, move on to the next one. The next one we are going to is another sherry one. Apologies, Frank. I picked this up, bargain sale. Big Pete Sherry Storm number 2. It's great. It's really nice. A lot in the glass. 400 bottles. It's funny because Douglas Lang put out so much good stuff. And yet, again, another one that just kind of gets kind of lost in the mix. Yeah, it's the one thing I would say that if you're buying subscription of anything, you want to be getting into YouTube Premium It's just worth it. And especially because what you can do is the majority of videos. So the way I kind of perceive that maybe people are watching this, maybe wrong, but I can do it. I can put on any YouTube video, just lock my phone again and put it in my pocket. And I know you can do that on Android, or I don't know if you still can, but on an iPhone, it's great. So I can just, I don't need to watch it. And it depends what content you're watching. But if I'm listening to like whiskey stuff, so like Roy Aquavite, I can treat his videos like a podcast and just put the phone in my pocket, headphones on, and away I go. If I'm walking the dog and stuff, so it's really useful for that. Yeah, it's short. It's just, they need to maybe like find a way of segregating it. Just put it in its own space. It's still on YouTube, but just put it in a different tab or whatever, because it's just, I don't want to put it on, I don't want it as part of my stuff. Yeah, absolutely. They should do, because he does such a good service for them, to be honest. For anyone listening, suggested Kane Heads just send Gavin the tasting packs for free as some sort of token of appreciation. Don't know if they do so now. And Frank also saying, please sip your great polluted stuff, leaves more good whiskey for me and Rob Smith. Honestly, this is a delicious dram. Now we're up to, as I said, now we're at 54.8. It's a blended malt. You're rocking and rolling at that. And yet you'll still have people go, oh, blends aren't real whiskey, or blends aren't this, or blends aren't that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable dram. The legs on it, just the viscosity to it. And it still helped my throat. Helped medicate. Pete saying it's disabled in the official app on Android too. Yeah, it never used to be. I think they obviously cottoned onto it and went, oh, we need to sort that out. But yeah, if there's one piece of advice I can give everybody, if you can, get YouTube Premium. If it's too expensive in your country, get yourself a cheap VPN, figure out the wee. That's all I'm going to say. The AGPA, that's the Anti-Grape What Association. I know. As soon as Pete Head's mentioned in that, you should get like football shirts made up with it for Glasgow. Separate app called YouTube Shorts would be smart. Yeah, but not even a separate app, even just another section. Anti-Grape Pollution Association. That's it. I try and put myself in that headspace of like certain sherry whiskey I don't enjoy that much, like Palo Cortado. Me don't really get on. But not like any of it. But each to your own. Each to your own. Like, who am I to judge? Right. Last one, guys. Round off the set. We are going to North Star Supersonic Mach 4, 60%. And it's another sherry, unfortunately. So apologies, guys. 716 bottles. I have the series of these Supersonic Mach 4, 3, 2, 1. A while since that's been on. This is where I will say my journey of discovery with blends and independent bottlers and all that started with North Star, and it started with Chaos, and it's behind me. And I was going to bring the Chaos over, and I thought, no, I like the Supersonic, and I also need to finish that. But the reason I've not finished it is because it's 60%, and I'm not prone to jumping into 60%ers on the regular. Rob's working on a logo now. Like, I'll buy one. I will absolutely buy a shirt with that on it, and then I'll just put a wee bit over the A. I can be part of the GPA. This is blended malt. It is from, does it say anything on it? It doesn't say anything about it at all. It just says blended malt. %60 proof. So obviously I'm feeling it here. It's lovely. There's a dustiness to it. There's a depth to it. I have no idea where that whiskey's from. I think probably if I had it without having had all the other blends this evening, I might be able to pinpoint it a bit better. I would say it's in the wheelhouse of like a Glenturret, maybe Ben Rennes like type. It's meaty. There's depth to it. It's super viscous. It's very thick. Definitely doesn't say anything. Nah, all I get is distilled in 2013. That's it. Speyside or Highland. They're both. I can say Highland, can't I? Because Highland is Speyside. It's delicious. It's delicious, and if I remember when I first got this. And being amazed at being like 60%. Oh my god, a blend. Oh wow. But just how enjoyable it was and how much fun it was and how like. But I also think that was down to. I know people hate some people hate these bottles, but the branding was bang on. Like North Star do that really well. I think Thompson Brothers do that really well. Like connect with people and get them to buy into it. And they'll buy it. Appreciate it against my odds. Hope you're keeping well. And see you later on. Depth is good. Yeah, there's you'll know what I mean. There's just something really beautiful with it. Billy, last dram is Glenfarclas 105, 16-year-old. Beautiful. Fantastic. James, I've heard, right, so I've heard, and again I've heard how true this is. The 10 Ben Nevis that they have is alright, but that's just opened. And I think with Ben Nevis, and I've found it myself, it takes a wee bit of time. And the person that told me that said, I'm going to give it a wee bit of time. again, I do trust what they put out. It's more that I don't know. I wonder if we're just sort of a wee bit hesitant to splash the cash at the moment. Normally I'd swoop in, buy tons of it. So I'm gonna ping Marcos, who works at North Star. He's the brand rep, and say, look, mate, what's your pick? What's your pick of this? And then probably pick from there. Do it that way, to be honest. Pete, fair play. Appreciate you joining, and good luck for the F1. The F1 still passes me by. I enjoy it, but it still passes me by. I couldn't imagine getting up for it, but I can understand it. So good luck to whoever your team is. It's funny, you follow the drivers, don't you, in the team? Or, I don't know. I still have loyalty to McLaren because of David Coulthard. He was Scottish. Guys, we're at 12:07 here, the Black Lodge. So we're going to do another 8 minutes, and then we're going to call it a day at 12:15. In terms of the blends this evening, I've been like, I can't say I've been impressed because I knew I would be impressed. I picked these blends, they're good blends. I think what I want to emphasize is more people should be having more blends. We should be getting into more blends. I think it allows for exploration. I think it allows bigger brands to do stuff. I think it allows smaller brands to do stuff. I think like Woven being a prime example, they're growing and growing and growing through the blend space. North Star can put out blends that then can shift to buy good cast to do that. Thompson Brothers can buy parcels, do that, build a reputation. I think there's so much going on in that space. Douglas Lang, that's almost their like bread and butter. That's how I got into blends, was with them. So I think it's such an interesting avenue that we don't see. Well, we do. I think now we do. It's been spoke about. I was going to say we don't see spoke about enough, but we do see it spoke about. People do speak about it. But I would love to know. If you're saying to someone, right, what you having? Blend. You've got a £40 budget, €50 budget, $50 budget. Where are you putting them? I know that if Jeff Whiskey, I think Jeff's still here, but he'd be like, oh, cut us up Prohibition. But where would you go? That's going to be the first bottle on the shelf they're going to drink. You need to get them into it. Where would you go? Blends are always tough to get here, yeah, but you can still get it blended like Johnny. It can be Diageo. The hate train's really easy, but they still all serve a purpose. If it's a Johnny Walker, it's a Johnny Walker. That time of night where it's just dead air. Gotta keep talking. There's nothing worse than a live stream than somebody just sitting there silently. I just think we all have a good rain and blend our own versions just to see. Yeah, no, we absolutely could, but it's more a case of imagine you've recommended someone. So like Rob saying out where he is, blends are tough to come by and whatever. We can blend our own, but our own bottle selection would have cost X amount, which is far more than a single bottle, James. And I'm not having a go. It's not what I'm doing. It's more a case of if you had to pick something to say to somebody kick off, would you feel comfortable saying Black Label? Would you feel comfortable being like, try and find Compass Box, go special, go online, depending on your state, if you're in America, God. Or would you just be like, don't bother? I think for us, we're spoiled. We have an abundance of riches at our disposal, and I think that the distributors now and the makers and everybody are making better blends. I've got, I've said it before, I've got some older bottles of Johnny Walker, green and black and whatever, and I'm determined to do a side by side. It just means I need to buy the new bottles, and that's what's holding it up. I'm just like, don't really want to. I'm always amazed at everybody that stays on. Genuinely, I'm just checking the view counts and stuff like that, and it's fantastic. I need just massive appreciation to you guys. Without you, I wouldn't be here. To be fair, I wouldn't be doing it. And it's funny, you watch like the mega streamers and all that kind of stuff. We're not chasing that. We're not chasing that at all. It's more a community of drinkers that enjoy chatting about whiskey, and we normally just chat about whiskey. It's brilliant. It's such a great wee community. I love it. I have family and friends ask me why I bother, because they all think, oh well, you know, if you're not making any money, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not doing this, why do you do it? And I'm like, because it's great fun, and I love the conversation with you guys, the feedback I get, and you guys have sent me on directions to whiskies that I would never even consider. I think we definitely have to get something sorted for whiskey shows or whatever, meetups. That's definitely going to be in the pipeline. Just a few drams and a couple of beers in real life. Because at the moment it's a very one-way street. So I would love to put faces to names. A couple of yous I do know, and I really appreciate that. But I'd love to get to know some more of yous and just know who's tuning in. Really appreciate that, Billy. Really appreciate that. And do it on a Saturday. Yeah, I do. It's a Saturday. It's a tough shift. I'm never going to get the views, and I don't care. I don't do it for the views. I do it because it's the best time to do it. I just think Saturday night for me, current life stage, with the little one and stuff like that, I have time to do it. Yeah, it's always fun to attend my Saturday hanging out and chatting. No pubbing here in the Billy, so no reason to go out. Prefer this, so thanks for organising as always. I appreciate that. But yeah, but that's it. It's more because I'm in the same boat. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I can sit at home myself, watch a film, whatever, or I can engage with people that I enjoy the company of and drink some drams. And by no means does it facilitate me drinking drams. It's more just, can I make the most of my time? And I do. So guys, we are now at 12:15. Time's up. I'm going to go through the last of the comments. Rob, I always like your live streams when I'm able to catch some Drinkswhisky Slanger. Thank you. I appreciate that. The one thing I would ask, if you could do the usual like thumbs up stuff. I don't understand it, but thumbs up, like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Comment when you see the videos. But I'm not begging for you to do it. I would rather you were honest. If you like something, say you like it, and if you don't, just don't say anything. I don't know if I could take the negative, but appreciate you all. Next week, I don't know if I'll be on. I don't know. I might be. I might be in another country. I don't know yet. So follow me on Instagram at Drinkswhisky, and I'll keep you up to date. Kojo, you've been quiet. Where you been? Welcome in. I'm doing the. This is updating quicker on that, but appreciate it. Watch and catch up. All the best, guys. As usual. See you later. Thanks.